All right. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us, Kelly. We really appreciate having you on. We're really excited to learn a little bit about some of the awesome programs you're part of.
Thank you for having me on, Timothy. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
Yeah. So we've got a bunch of different questions for you. So our first one is: so you are in a pretty competitive landscape. How did your team go about growing the platforms or the communities that you're involved in? Because I know you're part of multiple.
It is a very competitive landscape. So, staying mission driven and community focused is everything we do, essentially. We host regular events, I wouldn't even call them regular, these big fun events and conferences. We've created ABA holidays in the field, which is crazy. There's Baird Appreciation Day. There's BMBA. There's the Black Male BCBA Day. There's the Behavior Technician Appreciation Day. So we've literally created holidays to celebrate around the clock. And we also highlight individual wins and collective wins. We create opportunities for people to lead and grow. And that's through speaking engagements, professional development opportunities, or networking. There's so many opportunities within that space that we've created here with the ABA collab. And what works best is having structure. So we have a ton of things going on. We rotate the collaborations and celebrations throughout the year. Like I said, we have all of these holidays that we celebrate, and we create spaces for people to want to return to. We want people to return to these things. So we also collect data on testimonies and stories that reflect real impact. For example, one speaking engagement opportunity with us led someone to land 5 more engagements that year. They had more job offers, and they also gained new mentors that helped them unlock even more doors. So the connection is key there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So staying connected and staying organized, right? Because it
Yes,
is
you have.
none of that can happen unless someone's pulling the strings and making sure things are actually happening on time and things are booked and people have food and drinks and all this stuff, right?
Right. There's always, when you have things set in stone for your dates, it can just make things easier. If it's around the clock, you can plan ahead.
Makes makes complete sense. I am not an event planner, and it's a good thing because I suck at figuring out that kind of organizational stuff.
Yeah, there was this reality show, I forgot. There was this woman who been married over 30 years, and she said, well, what she does is have a an annual, like, an anniversary every year with marriage. Like, what's the
Yeah,
secret? That was the question. What is your secret to
yeah.
staying married? Well, they have a wedding every year. So
Wow.
I kind of see it like that when you plan these ABA holidays and celebrations. It's more of like, this will keep us going, this will keep the momentum going in the field and the
For now, and
connections.
then we need to do more later.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That makes complete sense. Um, so, what do you find most challenging then about growing these initiatives, growing some of these platforms and programs?
The harder part is definitely pushing for innovation. Alignment tends to come naturally because each initiative under the ABA collab has a clear mission and vision. The We Bad centers Black women. ABA Versus brings fun and fresh ideas and entertainment into the field. The Behavior Technician Association supports BTs, obviously, RBTs. The ABA Pathfinders, which I'd like to point out, works to expand ABA programs and pitch ABA programs into schools, high schools, universities, colleges, and even workplaces and employers, just to expand the reach of our discipline. I think the real challenge is encouraging a field that's historically rigid and often slow to change, to embrace that creativity and relevance. That it's that broader impact, that innovation is essential for the growth and evolution of ABA. So ultimately, the ABA Collab is designed to support the entire life cycle of the ABA professional, from discovery to the post retirement phase. So I love the ABA Collab and what that stands for.
So, you've built a career both on leadership and also amplifying and kind of helping others lead better. What is one leadership lesson that you wish more executives, especially in the ABA space, understood and lived?
It's a good question. One lesson I wish more leaders understood is this: don't block opportunities, create them. Use your influence to help others. You have power. Use your influence to help others. You are able to walk through these rooms and doors. Even if people don't see the bigger picture, if you're the visionary, and that happens a lot of times. And also something simple as just offering a listening ear, sharing a kind word to someone, offering a recommendation to someone, or simply giving somebody a chance can completely change the direction and the trajectory of someone's life. And for new leaders, especially for new leaders, don't box people in. Let others grow. Give yourself room to evolve as well, because leadership isn't just about walking through doors. It's about holding them open and letting others in. And also, if you ever find that you're the most experienced or the most knowledgeable person in a room, take that as a cue that it's time to expand your circle. It's time to challenge yourself to do new things.
I think growth is an essential part of leadership, both for yourself and also encouraging it and seeing it in others. I think a lot of the time people get lost in the day to day activity of
Yes.
executing work, right? And
Yes.
they forget or miss out on the growth, both for themselves, like you said, and for the people under them.
Yes.
Um,
You're a forever learner in leadership, a forever learner.
Absolutely. If you're doing it right, you should be learning constantly, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Um, so you created a really powerful community. What's one of the most unexpected impacts of launching it?
The
Okay.
most unexpected impact has been how naturally Baird has connected with other communities. It was created to highlight and support Black women in ABA, but it's grown into the space where people from different backgrounds and fields feel welcome to engage, and I love that. We have seen support from our allies and organizations outside of ABA, outside of the discipline, and even other underrepresented groups who relate and they need that visibility and recognition. So that's surprising to me. Also, um, another thing that surprised me is how many people have said, I didn't know how much they needed this, or this made me feel seen. I think that kind of response reminded me that creating intentional spaces, no matter how specific, we can just create this wider impact. The impact is bigger than what you would expect.
Sometimes the impact on individuals, kind of the personal impact,
Yes.
is bigger than the organizational impact.
Yes. Those individual highlights, those individual connections that I get out, or those testimonies that I receive really keep me going in the right direction. Like this is why we're doing this.
You've worn multiple hats: founder, COO, collaborator, contributor, speaker, conference host, right? All of those
Yes.
pieces. Which of those roles has pushed you to grow the most, and why?
Definitely the collaborator. Their role it takes the most patience and care to have the role of a collaborator, because you're constantly nurturing relationships, right? And aligning all of these different visions and learning how to show up as a partner. So you're wearing all of these multiple hats and you have to show up not just as a leader, but as a partner. The collaboration part it takes the most patience and care.
The partnerships are always the hardest, especially if there's multiple partners. It becomes more and more complex the more people you add in.
Yes, yes. But as long as
If
there's alignment, it makes it easier. But again, every entity, every collaboration is different. They're not all the same, but great in their own capacity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, yeah, partnerships can also be the most rewarding things sometimes.
Yes, yes, I agree.
Absolutely. So if you could spark one big change in the AV industry overnight, you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing or change one thing. What would it be?
If I could spark one big change, it would be for the world to recognize ABA as essential. Not the clinical settings with kids with autism, but across industries and systems and everyday life. I think our science has this potential to address some serious pressing challenges that our society has. Just imagine behavior analysts working alongside tech companies to curb that digital addiction, like the doom scrolling behavior that's going on, and supporting natural environmental initiatives like climate, like global warming, those types of things, and influencing sustainable habits or shaping public health strategies that can stick. I think that if we have behavior analysts in the rooms with politicians and in the government, I think that we can really change the trajectory of the human behavior. We're the leaders of behavior, so we should be at the forefront. And I think that that kind of shift would first impact society at large, because when that behavior science is integrated beyond the traditional borders that we have, like in clinics, kids and autism, it wouldn't just improve the individual outcomes, it would redefine what's possible on a global scale. And in doing so, it would elevate the field itself and meet the urgency and complexity of the world we live in.
It's really cool. It's a cool idea. I think I'm talking with a group here later this week that focuses on ABA as an organizational tool, and I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, apply it. It's not just for kids with autism, right? It is a science that can be applied broadly, which is really cool. It's a cool concept.
Everywhere, everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate having you and having some of your insights. Thank you for what you're doing for the ABA space and for creating the communities and the spaces that you are.
I really appreciate you having me here. Thank you so much, Timothy.
Absolutely. Thank you.